We are from Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, CRIME, based in Ibadan. That is the headquarters. And 3 of us are here representing the organization. Mr. Wabwe is here by my right. Mr. Oluloyo is over there. He is an economist. Mr. Wabwe is an extensionist. And I am Adeyemi EA, an agronomist, an extension agronomist. I have a short speech for us, and it's on farmers' empowerment through on-farm demonstration on improved practices in the cultivation of 2 crops. CRIME has mandate for 3 crops, and 5 of that, and the 5 of them are commodity crops. The first of them is cocoa, cashew, cola, tea, and coffee. Introduction. Agriculture has been the mainstay of Nigerian economy before the advent of oil boom in the 70s. The need to return to agriculture for sustainable economy has been realized. Hence, farmers are being trained on improved agricultural practices for profitable ventures. In the light of the above, in year 2008 precisely, CRIME and FADO embarked on collaborative on-farm demonstration on improved practices in the cultivation of 2 of our mandate crops to start with, and those are cocoa and cashew. Before the on-farm demonstration on farmers' farm, we embarked on training the trainers workshop, and that took place between from 7th to 9th of May 2008, and that workshop was organized to train both the management and the staff of FADO on improved practices in the cultivation of cocoa and cashew. Topics discussed by facilitators from CRIME at the training workshop include 1, building program in cocoa and cashew. That was handled by a breeder. 2, soil and nutrient requirements of cocoa and cashew, handled by a soil scientist. 3, agronomy practices of cocoa and cashew cultivation, handled by an agronomist. 3, insect pests associated with cocoa and cashew production, handled by an entomologist. 5, symptoms and control of cocoa and cashew disease, handled by a pathologist. A profitable venture, handled by an economist. And the last but not the least, extension strategies for promoting cashew and cocoa production, handled by an extensionist. CRIME developed end-use products such as cocoa bread, beverages like cashew juice, wine from cocoa and cashew, detergents, bathing soap, body and hair cream, so few were exhibited at the training workshop. After the training workshop, we now move on to the farm to have on-farm crops, cocoa and cashew. The first was improved practices in cocoa cultivation. Cultivation of cocoa thrives in the rainforest zone. As a result of that, elect the Mefa Faju Community Association, FCA, located in Odeda local government of Ogun State, was chosen by FADO for on-farm demonstration on cocoa. And the technologies being demonstrated on that farm include the following: One, site selection, because not all soil can support cocoa. So we train the farmers on how to be able to identify soils that can support cocoa. And before we chose the site, a soil scientist was there to do auguring along with the farmers. And farmers also practice it to be able to ensure that the soil is deep enough to be able to support cocoa, and soil samples were taken for analysis to ensure that the soil is one that can support the cultivation of cocoa. The second technology being demonstrated is soil sampling for analysis, which I've made mention of. The third technology is farm layout using appropriate plant spacing for optimum plant population. Actually, our farmers have been cultivating cocoa, but we realize that they do not have optimal population per hectare, which will give them optimum yield. Hence, we demonstrate to them, and it's actually on the farm, the appropriate spacing, which is 3 meters by 3 meters for cocoa. That is the recommendation from Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, and that is being demonstrated on farmers' farm. It's organic farming, as I've told you. Up till now, no pesticide has been applied on the farm. So we can beat our chest that we are practicing organic farming. And also, they are being trained on soil management for sustainable agriculture. The soil is what the farmers depend upon, and he has to handle it appropriately, otherwise it will not last well for the farmer. Community association in Ele-Ede Ominiko in Ibarapa, north of Oyo State, was chosen for on-farm demonstration on cashew. And I'm glad to hear that on Tuesday, I think part of the people here at the conference were taken to that site at Ominiko. And I believe you were able to see the cashew. The cashew actually was planted June last year. And I believe you could see the development of the cashew. So the cashew is barely a year of age now. And the transplanting, as I told you, was done in June. The spacing planted was 6 meters apart. And all along we have been